Moving Forward quarterly update with Mike McCarthy and Katie Mangle.
Good evening. I'm Mike McCarthy. I work for the city of Tualatin as a transportation engineer and the Tualatin Moving Forward program director. Katie is actually on vacation, so she won't be joining us this evening.
Why not?
And
Isn't this more fun?
Yeah. So I'll start sharing my screen here, and you should all be seeing PowerPoint. And we'll go to the view show mode here. All right. Can you all see the PowerPoint presentation now? Okay. So this is the Tualatin Moving Forward quarterly update, which we do quarterly. Thank you, Captain Obvious. And so tonight's theme is just around the corner, and we'll be talking about the projects that we have coming up, particularly for this coming summer, and then some of the ones that are underway now. And as always, updates on all the projects are at tualatinmovingforward.com. So here's our map of our current projects. And as you know, we have a few that are under construction or almost finished. We'll talk about Martin Hazy Sagart in a moment. We're still working out at 50th and Wilkie, particularly once we can get the gas line moved and get the contractor in and do what they need to do. Work will be starting very soon once we get rail approval on the Tualatin Road from the Sweet to Park, or basically from the police station to the park project. And we're working also on Garden Corner Curves. The contract will be back about in April to do the permanent striping, and then there's some pavement corrective repairs that they need to make, particularly at Paulina and 105th. And then I think we talked a few weeks ago about the project on Boones Ferry Road and all of what we're working on for this coming summer, and then particularly the bigger aspects of the project where we'll need to be acquiring right-of-way. Those will be coming next summer. And the neighborhood traffic safety projects that we talked about a few weeks ago. So that's on Martin Hazy up near Fred Meyer, and then flashing lights, the crosswalk at Mohawk, Avery out near 12th and Sherwood Road. We're on Boones Ferry, sort of the west side of Boones Ferry and the north part of our downtown, or by the nurses building. The Sagart Bridge, and then on 67th and 68th Avenues in the Stone Ridge area. So those are all coming that we don't have slides for tonight. So Martin Hazy and Sagart, we believe this one is finally just around the corner. The controller just passed the full state testing. The state has a pretty impressive testing lab where they actually simulate full intersection operations and traffic showing up in different places, and even like weather and making sure the cabinet withstands rain and everything, so that once it actually gets put out, it works. And just past that, and the final detection pieces just came in so we anticipate that coming in real soon. And I don't have a specific date yet. I think I'll believe it when I see it. And so that's coming real soon. We're also working on the 12th and Sherwood Road, Martin Hazy to I-5 project, and that'll be coming for next summer in 2023. We're working with ODOT on that, and that is Nyberg and 12th and Sherwood Roads approaching that. And then also, because of not the best bike facilities in the interchange area, that project will also include quite a bit of work to route cyclists up Boones Ferry and then across the Greenway Trail along the river. The beautiful trail that Parks built fairly recently that's goes under I-5 next to the river. So that will be coming up soon. And we know about a lot of the big benefits coming with that project, and significant delays getting to I-5 that we'll be reducing. We want to talk a little bit about the 95th and Avery project. And part of that has been built this year, and part of that will be coming this summer. So you've probably seen the crosswalk in place at 93rd and Sagart, and the all-way stop at 95th and Sagart. And those were a couple big changes already. The always stop has really changed how this intersection is working. Now, right now, there's a developer working to build a small subdivision in this area that is redoing some of the ramps on the southeast corner. And then our project will be coming in and rebuilding a couple of the ramps in some of the other corners. And then we have some more detailed slides, some of the other areas here. This is 93rd Avenue, near Sagart, and the Tualatin Heights Apartments, which I believe you all heard about a couple weeks ago. And this will include new sidewalk along both sides of 93rd, the north end there, getting up to Sagart Street. We'll include a stormwater treatment planner, which is the green, and some other elements there, including the expanded speed zone along Sagart. We found that a lot of the kids walking to Tualatin Elementary were coming in from this way. And then at 95th and Avery itself, we've got some pretty big changes coming here. And particularly we'll be restriping Avery to add a center left turn lane. This will be a pretty similar section to Avery to the west at Teton. We also fit in a center left turn lane there, approaching that all-way stop at Teton. We'll be able to do the same thing here at 95th. And then one of the big issues we've been hearing about is with this crosswalk particularly. And southbound vehicles on 95th make a right turn across the crosswalk. And right now they just get a green circle indication, and then, but because they're turning right, they're required to yield. And what we plan to do with the signal change is to make it much more clear that instead of getting a green circle, drivers will get a green, yellow, or red arrow. So they won't be turning right across the crosswalk. And we think that'll really help with our crosswalk safety right here. Then the project would also include some new sidewalk on the north side here in conjunction with our sidewalk street tree, our sidewalk repair program. So big changes coming this summer around Tualatin Elementary. And then the Hazelbrook area, as you may recall, we did a big survey of the community asking really what they wanted to see in their neighborhood in place of the original planned project to construct the signal at Tualatin Road and Teton Avenue. And because our analysis said it wasn't really ready for a signal yet, we then asked the neighbors, what would you like in your neighborhood? So the projects that came from the neighborhood and then came to the top of our survey were restriping Hazelbrook Road, which will include bike lanes on the south side, and then paved shoulder or bike lane, depending on what would fit on the north side. Redoing the Hazelbrook-Jurgens intersection, and then restriping Jurgens, keeping the parking on the west side, but striping in bike lanes. So by visually narrowing up the road, we think we can reduce speed somewhat there and provide clearer space for cyclists. And then flashing lights at the crosswalks along Tualatin Road. So east of Jurgens, right at Teton, the 108th, and then just east of 115th. So those are all in response to the survey, and we were impressed to get 136 responses there. And then here's some more photos of what's coming. The bike lanes on Hazelbrook, the intersection improvement around Jurgens, bike lanes on Jurgens, and then the flashing light crosswalks on Tualatin Road. And we're still working on the sidewalk along the northwest side of Highway 99. We just got our final signed design exceptions from ODOT for this project. So we're reaching milestones there and getting 60% plans later this week to review on that one. That still we anticipate construction in 2023. And I think I'll stop sharing in case we have any questions and any other thoughts or things you'd like to bring up.
Questions for Mike. Councilor Pratt.
Thanks for the great work overall, but I do have a question. This is kind of personal. On that where the light's going in at Martinezzi and Sagart, when you're heading south from up the hill from Fred Meyer, you know, the lanes have changed. So if you're going straight now, you need to be in the right lane as opposed to left lane. And it took me a couple times to get it. But last weekend I was going up the hill and I was in the right lane that went straight. And I know there's a little sign on the hill that says traffic change ahead, but there was a person that probably had a good decade on me, and they just kind of veered in front of me. So I'm kind of concerned about safety there till we all get used to that change in the traffic pattern there. Can we put stripes or I don't know, something to help people kind of wake up and, you know, because you get so broke and you're almost home from work. And
Yeah. So we have a couple of new signs coming. One will be a sign on the side with the left and through right, and then it comes left through right, and then a left turn must turn left sign. It'll be on the left side of the road there. And then we're planning to add a couple of lane use arrows farther back. So just past the crosswalk, we're planning to put down one arrow that would say left turn only, and then in the right lane will be a through and right. I'm not sure how I can do my through right arrows with my hands here, but a left and then a through right, which we hope will help people figure it out a little earlier. Before they get there.
And thank you so much for putting that bike lane in there with the nice green paint.
Oh, good. Well, thank you.
Other questions or comments from Mike? Council Brooks, and then Council Reyes.
Thanks, Mike, and thanks for all the great work that you're doing. I know that I don't just speak for myself when I say that I'm really proud about what we've done with the bond and how you guys have been managing this, and you know, even with changes in your directors and everything else, and still doing great work. I almost wanted to make a comment today during consent because I'm very excited about the Tualatin Sherwood Road widening project coming through. And I was curious with the lane addition over by the freeway entrance, if you could explain how that dovetails with the future project of the Tualatin Sherwood Road widening.
Okay, and am I assuming correctly you mean the county's project to widen Tualatin Sherwood Road, like from Teton West?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because that will open up one bottleneck on that western part of Tualatin Sherwood Road. That's so we do anticipate a fair amount more traffic coming through once that gets built because they can get through. And then so we anticipate more traffic eastbound getting to the interchange as well. So right now what we're seeing as you're on Tualatin Sherwood Road, Nyberg coming up the interchange, you know, we're seeing most of the people going to I-5 are getting into the right lane. And the right lane goes to I-5 South, and then people are also getting, into the right lane early to get to I-5 North. And then that backs up for a ways, and then people are trying to jam their way in, more like near Fred Meyer. And then they can't get to the third lane to get across to Nyberg or turn left into Cabela's. So we anticipate some pretty significant capacity improvement just from rerouting the lanes. You know, so the right lane goes to I-5 South, the center lane goes to I-5 North, and then the left lane would then be open all the way back to Martinezzi because of the way that area would get widened. And so people we can pull those people out of the I-5 line and get them over to Nyberg, over to Cabela's, and that will help that traffic move quite a bit better, we think. Did that get to the question?
Yeah, so you're saying with the addition of the lanes that the county puts in, that will help with the restriping part that we're doing. And I don't know where their lanes, like I don't quite understand where that project stops, the county project.
Okay. The county project stops just to the west of Teton Avenue.
Tualatin Auto Body.
Oh, yeah, I know right where that is.
Yep.
Yep. So that's where, if you're heading west, 12th and Sherwood currently narrows down from 2 lanes each way to 1. And when the county's project is finished, it'll be 2 lanes all the way through, from there all the way to past Highway 99.
Okay.
So county project ends is just a little west of Teton.
Okay. And I just guess too, I've said this before, but I have a curiosity around if there's been thought about adding a right-hand turn lane on Teton, because that backs up, and especially if there's going to be work going on around there from Teton going north. Anyway, thanks for helping me understand that, and I'm hopeful. It's it's the one I'm most excited about. So I'm looking forward to the striping.
Good.
And I know a lot of other people in the community are too.
Good.
So,
Thank you.
and thank you.
Councilor Reyes.
Yeah, just actually what Councilor Brooks was saying, it's sort of what I was thinking, because I did have a couple of businesses I didn't know that they keep asking me about the project on Teton, and I'm like, what project on Teton? So I think it's the one that it's from the county. Like, I didn't in my mind, I was thinking it was part of our bond or like part of the Tualatin Moving Forward. But that's what they're talking about, because there are several businesses that are north of, is it north? I'm getting confused. Teton and Tualatin Sherwood. Well, that business park on that side, north of that Sherwood Road, we're talking about the projects that's happening at Teton, and I live on Teton and Silet, so I was like wondering what they were talking about. But thank you for clarifying. So that is what is from that part east. Is it east? Oh, west, sorry, is what the county is working on. Is that my understanding?
Yes.
Or, okay, and they're gonna restripe the roads? Because, I'm sorry, I'm confused. Maybe because where I'm sitting right now, I'm getting things confused. So on that Teton Road and Sherwood, what part is the one that the county's working on?
So on 12th and Sherwood Road, west of Teton. So like if you're going north on Teton, and then you turn left on 12th and Sherwood Road towards Sherwood.
Okay, that's what
then
the
it,
county.
And then it narrows down from 2 lanes to 1 lane.
Right.
The county's project will continue the 2 lanes all the way through the western city limits of 12th and all the way to Highway 99W.
Okay. All right, thank you very much for that. And the other question I had is that I know you said that we will have the lights on Mount Nassie and Sagart turned on pretty soon. When are we going to celebrate that? Do we have a date? I'm just really excited about that one because we've seen so many craziness there.
I'm excited as well. I think the contractor has told me next week.
Next week?
But
okay.
I think at this point, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, okay. All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Anything else for Mike? Council President Grimes.
Thank you. I have a question, and I apologize, Mike, if you covered this and I just missed it. I apologize. The construction for Tualatin Sherwood Road that's going to lead onto I-5, adding extra lane. When is that scheduled to begin? Do we have a tentative schedule start for that?
That's scheduled for next year, so
Okay.
2023.
Okay. Do you know approximately how long that construction will take? And are we developing a really good plan to manage traffic during that construction time?
Yeah, I can see the concerns. That area is so congested already. What we're designing, and I think we'll be looking at that pretty carefully. And fortunately, we're trying to design it so that more of the work is on the outside of the road, so that we wouldn't have to be closing lanes more than we can minimize the amount that we'd have to close lanes in order to get the work done. I think the part that could involve more closure is the median work, kind of along Fred Meyer between Martin Hazy and the Fred Meyer Cabela signal, that I'm a little more concerned about. And I think we'll try to work out some of the specifics of like maybe limiting the contractor to working at certain times of the day or the night when we can disrupt traffic less. Because yeah, that's one of my concerns. If we're doing the whole project to try to reduce congestion, I don't want to make it massively worse in the middle before it gets better. So we'll try to do what we can to limit disruption.
Okay. I mean, obviously there's always disruption with projects like that. With the new apartment complex that's down in the old RV park, I mean, it's going to be up and roaring by then, and that's going to put a lot of traffic on 12th and Sherwood and a lot of commuter traffic. And, there's so many either accidents, near accidents, traffic backups there. It's like any kind of creative way we can come up with doing the work off hours, weekends, nights. That's expensive probably, but yeah, that would be terrific. Thank you.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments for Mike? All right. Well, thanks, Mike. That's always positive news. It's always, things are getting done on time, as close to budget as possible. With COVID, I know we're doing well on costs. It's the timing that's killing us on trying to get some of those materials with the supply shortage overseas, but it's eventually going to happen. But we just had to be patient, and looking forward to, as people mentioned, the new traffic light, and looking forward to this county project finally happening after I don't know how many years I've been waiting as a city councilor for it to happen. I know they started down in Sherwood already in construction, and with his easements, I think people are going to be very happy with the additional lane. But my concerns, as you alluded to, is it just might fill up all over again, even with the additional lane. But at least hopefully things will be moving a little quicker than the renowned parking lot that we have sometimes at Tualatin Auto Body when it bottlenecks down. And then just last thing, obviously, is the county coordinating with UPS and Pacific Foods and all those guys, because this is going to impact them big time. The UPS trucks pouring out onto Tualatin Road. This is their gig, not yours, isn't it? Or is it shared?
I mean, for that big county project, they would be the ones to coordinate with all the different businesses around them. I think we can pass on word to tell them they need to make sure that they do that.
Yeah, that, and I'm sure the Tualatin Police Department might be engaged a little bit too. With in the first few days, people might lose their patience, and as was alluded to, we don't want to have any accidents there when you're making that right from Teton on to Tualatin Shore Road heading towards Sherwood, because that's why I think where it was alluded to. I see a lot of the brown trucks back up, making that right.
Yeah.
They might blame us for the, people that don't know might blame and may think it's a city thing. It's a city project versus a county project. And they might want to contact us and tell us, hey, what are you guys doing?
Usually the county is very proud of putting out the big MSTIP sign saying your MSTIP dollars at work. It only took 10, 15 years, but they're dollars at work.
And I would anticipate them putting up at least a couple of those big signs for the project, which should help. And I think I can pass on the word to coordinate with them and get their website information that we can then link to. Like that.
I mean, because you're already seeing the impacts around 124th with the construction of the buildings going up, and I think they're throwing some of the pipes in right now, where Tualatin Sherwood Road is pretty much down to one lane on each side around 124th sometimes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for coming tonight, and appreciate your update.
Thank you very much, and have a good evening.
You too. All right, that brings us to items removed for consent. We didn't have any